for it.
Okay. Hey, welcome to my studio. I'm Jeannie Johnson, connected with Gallery One. Today, and usually in my studio, I have students or friends painting with me very often. Sometimes I do my own thing out here too for hours in a day. But today I thought I would do a Heavens Declare painting. If those of you from Ellensburg, if you went to the 420 Loft show in January and February, that whole show was my Heavens Declare series, and I'm constantly adding to it because I just love doing it. But what I have here is a board that I gessoed, prepped, and then covered with acrylic painting. I do start with a black tube of acrylic paint, but I add blues, reds, greens. So if you were here, you'd see that this isn't just a flat black. I just think it's more effective for my outer space paintings because there is color in space, not just black. I'm gonna move the camera so you can see the image that I'm looking at, and I know you won't be able to see it very well, but there it is on my desk with, it's a NASA image, which is not copyrighted since we, the government, own the NASA. And I usually paint with brushes. Sometimes I will use a knife, sometimes I will use my hands, but mostly I use brushes. And I have here medium. Let me get my medium. And I mix my own medium, but you can purchase me at Jarl's or any art store, your favorite art store. I like to start with a layer of medium on my canvas. I do this almost with all of my paintings, and even in between, if I have paintings all over the place, even between sessions, I will put medium on. I think the medium just accepts the pigment better, and for sure on this, I want it to be very fluid, very not so stiff like most of my paintings are. So I start with medium, and my mixture is odorless mineral spirits and oil. I use a little linseed oil, I'll use a little walnut oil. And then I also have mineral spirits, odorless mineral spirits here that I like to clean my brush with before I start a session. My brushes are clean because I do use soap and water. A lot of artists don't, but I do between sessions. But it sort of accepts the pigment better too, so I like that. So I'm looking at my image right now, and the focal point is going to be the light, right, in the sky, and it is in the middle pretty much, and I don't want it in the middle. I as a rule, you want to divide your canvases into thirds, and anywhere that the lines meet is a good focal point. You don't necessarily want it right smack where they meet, but that gives you just sort of an idea. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my focal point right in here. So I just got plain white right out of the tube here, and we'll just see what we get. And I'm just going to start putting it on here. And you can still see some of the dark showing through, and sometimes after it dries, after the oil's dry, I will go in there and lighten it up even more because I want that really bright. Also, you can add a touch of yellow to your white, and I mean, it'll still look white. Like I've got just a tad bit of yellow on this brush. It'll still look white, but it sort of brightens things up somehow. And you can see my brush, I'm just kind of laying the paint on. If I scrub it, it brings too much of the dark through. So you guys like see that very well. Maybe I should move. I'm going to move it a little closer so y'all can see the canvas a little bit. All right, I think that'll be better. Okay, so let's dive in on the painting. Normally, I don't know if you guys can hear music in the background. Normally, I have a book being read to me. That's just my preference of when I'm in the studio. I just like to have some read to me. But right now we have music so that it won't be distraction free while you're listening to me talk. Okay, I'm also going to put in a tad bit of this. This is my new favorite color. It's called light turquoise, and love it. I just think it's so pretty. So I'm going to put a little of that. Now I'm going to put a little yellow, so you guys can't really see my palette very well. A little yellow in here, just to get some nice green tones. The overall tone of the image is blues and purples, but I kind of do my own thing on these. Pretty important to do so because it's all loose, it's all fun, and if you get too stiff, which that if any of you who have followed me over the years, you know I'm very picky about my lines and everything has to be just right. And with these, I don't want them to be just right. I want them to be free and fun and full of movement. So I'm putting some here. This is I think it's called dark turquoise. So that it's a little more towards the blue tones, less towards the yellow tones. So I'm just putting that in there. Now I'm going to start, actually, while I have this on my brush, I don't know if you notice I keep wiping my brush and everything because I want to have a fairly clean color so far on this. So clean between, I don't use mineral spirits very much to clean my brushes when I'm in a cleaning session, but if I need to, I do. All right, so now I'm going to go to ultramarine blue, which is kind of a purpley blue, and I'm starting with that, and I probably will use some phthalo blue because I like it. But for now, I'm using the ultramarine blue because I want to add lots of purples. And I actually did squeeze out a purple. It's called dioxazine purple onto my palette. I don't always use purple out of a tube. I most often mix it myself, but for this one, I just feel like I really want that cool tube purple color. So I'm going to go this way. The movement kind of comes around like this, like this. Actually, I'm gonna get some more compositional things going on here so you can see my process. Okay, so now I've got lots of white on there just because I was touching different lights. Go back to it's just ultramarine right out of the tube. It's nice and dark and purpley. And hold on, I'm gonna pull up my image. My screen went blank. There we go. All right, back to it. I think I want some ultramarine blue in here because I like this turquoise, and so ultramarine. And you guys probably can't see the difference between ultramarine and phthalo, but this is phthalo, this is ultramarine. So I'm going to go into my purples now. I just feel like it's time, and I'm not adding white yet. I'm just doing purples. And I'm using the zigzaggy approach at little X's, but eventually I like to sort of push the paint and make a cloud. Really, what I'm looking at are gases and clouds in outer space. So to follow the movement of the cloud is an effective way to get that feel. That gas. So I'm still going into my dioxazine purple. I want some out here. And some, there's not as much in here on that image. So I'm gonna stick with the image for now. Like I said, I will very often depart from my image. Do you see how I picked up some light? And I'm just kind of letting it fade off and fluff out here. Sort of like that. All right, I'm gonna do one more purple down here, and then I'm gonna step back. Very important, in my opinion. When I'm in here with my students, I will often take their canvases and pull them away so they can see farther away. But it's really important to step back and see where you're headed on your painting. So, excuse me while I step out of the camera and look at where we're going. Okay, so far I like it. I think I need to scoot the lights that way a little more. I just feel compositionally needs to go that way. So I'm getting a clean brush because I have purples and blues and everything on here. And I'm going to push this way. And then and I should have stepped back at the very beginning, guys. My bad. That's how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna step back just for a minute and see how I'm looking. Much better, much better. I like it better. Okay, so get my lights up here again. And I'm not too worried about having that really bright, like I'm getting lots of in here, it's fine. I'm definitely a painter who does layer after layer after layer on canvases. So not as much on these because like I said, they need to stay loose and everything. I'm gonna put my brush down here, back to my darks again, which I really like the arrangement of the gases and how they're swirling around with what I'm getting so far. So I'm gonna keep going with that. I really want color. This is all rather black. I really want some color out there. I don't want it bright like this, but I do want some color. I'm going to go with my purple first and just start. And you all probably cannot see that. I don't see it on my camera at all. So you'll just have to trust me on this. You never want to trust anybody that says just trust me, right? So here we go. I'm just getting some color out here. I'm actually going to go into this phthalo blue here. I've got a phthalo blue and a dark turquoise. It's really pretty. It's very phthalo-y. But I want some of that out here. Eventually, I may put some more lights out here too. Right now, I'm just trying to get color everywhere. I'm back to my ultramarine and my dioxazine purple. Okay, I've got all this dark. I'm going to start seeing how it melds with our lights here. Let's just see. And I don't know if you can hear my brush, but it's sort of a scrubby sound on this canvas, which because I am scrubbing, I'm not painting it on, I'm actually pushing the paint around here. I'm going to go back. Hold on. Okay. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's fun. It's so fun. It's so fun. Okay. Back to my ultramarine because I have I'm going to move my palette. Sorry, guys, because I got it down here. I've got lots of dioxazine purple here. So now I'm going into my ultramarine and just start scrubbing that in to blend with my dioxazine purple. I want a little more. I think I'm going to go with the phthalo blue in here. It's a little more turquoisey. I'm going to go with that right in here because I got this chunk of purple that I don't care for. So we're just gonna. I like right here. I had this. I think it's the undertone of the black. That's really cool. I feel like I took too much off of this, so I'm just gonna go in there and bring some black back. And this is really black. Now that I see color on here, this is just a stark black, and I don't want that. So back to my ultramarine blue. I'm going to get some lights in there, bring them out here. It's way fun. I wish you were really here and you could do this with me. I've got a little ultramarine and a little phthalo in here. And that medium I put on earlier is really helping. It's really helping to pull it all together. It's just my favorite thing. Yeah, I'm avoiding my lights for right now because I just want to get some darks on you. So I'm using just ultramarine right now just to get some paint on here. Okay, now I'm going to start going into what I've already established here with the greens and the blues and purples. Now I'm going into these lights just to see if we get that cloudy effect. Okay, now I'm going to go back, see what we've got. Looking good, actually. Okay, so now I think I want the star that's being developed here. I want it a little smaller, not a whole lot smaller. So I'm going to bring some of my turquoises in to the white. Because remember, I changed the shape to be a little differently than I had it at first. And I can always go back and add more light if I need to. And I have a feeling that's going to be too light. I'm going to go back and look and see what we got. Actually, that's not too bad. Okay, so when you want to make lighter pigments look brighter, the key is to have darks, lights next to each other. That's why this right here looks so bright, because I've got lots of darks here and lights here, right? So I want to keep with that. So I'm going to take some ultramarine blue, some dioxazine purple, and some burnt sienna. I'm making another black. It's going to be kind of a bluish black. And I really want to enhance that. So I'm going to go in here with the, it's kind of a dark blue that I'm getting. I may pull out too black too, just I don't dark enough. Actually, I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. So I changed brushes. I'm going back to my white brush. And I don't want it hard here, but I do want it to feel like it's some white clouds going on here. Okay, I'm liking that. Like I said, I'm going to keep walking back now. Okay, this is nasty. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's for that. Let's have it fade into the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going back and forth, guys. So hopefully you'll be able to still hear me. I love this. Ooh, so yummy. Okay, put my white down. Now I'm going to have to make some decisions about where do I want color in the space more so than what I have. And for you all, this looks really black. For me, there are some blues and purples going on there, but I'm going to add some more using white in my pigment so you can kind of see better what I'm seeing. I'm going to go back, see what we got. Love it. I want some more of this turquoisey color. So I'm using light turquoise straight out of the tube to mix in with what I make up here. Oh, yeah, that's way better. Get a blend through over to show you how to do this. See, where else do we need some more turquoise, or do we? I'm kind of thinking a little bit down here. And when I go back, I have a friend who I paint with a lot. I'll go back and see where I need something, and then I mark my spot. She's always saying, Jeannie, put paint on your brush and then go back. You don't have to mark your spot, but you know, old habits die. Okay, let's see what I got. I'm liking it. It's just a little too much. So I wiped off the turquoise. I'm going back into my blues and purples and bring some of that in here. Let's see what we got. I'm liking it. Okay, so I sort of had this movement going on here and this movement going on here. I think I want to bring a little bit light down in here. So let me get my light and see. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be some more swirl down in here. So I got a little of the turquoise on my brush, but mostly I'm letting the pigment that's already on there, mixing it with see back. Ooh, I'm really liking it. I'm liking it. Okay, so right now I have all these kind of little balls of stronger pigment that I don't care for. So I like to use a blender, especially on these. These are, if you look close at these paintings, they're pretty smooth. That's just, I like the feel of that it's just space, not solid objects. So this is a blender, and it has nothing on it right now. Very often I will put a little medium on it, which was at the beginning, and I'll just do that, and then I wipe it out really well because I don't want it just pushy. But it's really a cool tool to use to soften things without losing your textures, your colors. So I don't know if you can see the difference. And I think I will just pick this up. So this I softened, this I didn't. See if I can show you a little better. I know it's hard to see, but this is very soft and blurry. This is not. So, but I'm going to blur it all for you to see because I don't want any hard lines. All cloud, mist, gas. So, and I am swirling. Sometimes I'll just do this, but when it's clouds, I tend to swirl to start with. Just that cloudy. Oh, it's so yummy. I wish y'all could see it. Ooh, it's so fun. Way too fun. Way, way, way. I'm avoiding the white spot in there because I want it to stay bright. If I have a lot of pigment on this brush that if I go into that white spot, I'll ruin the whites. So what I probably should do is go get another clean brush and blend the white, but I shall not right now. Okay, so I'm going back to look and see what I have. I still have those weird bumps. Like I have this S thing going right here with turquoise. Very weird. So I'm going to put purple on the brush along with a little bit of white pigment. And I'm going to go back and see where I need to go with this. Okay, I'm going to pull these together right here, these blobs here. It's just weird. I don't know why I went that direction, but that's what I did. Okay, better. I want some in here. I'm going in ultramarine, no white, but I did not wipe my brush. It's okay for some white. Okay, I like that way better. Way, way, way better. I'm going to put something, I'm going back into the turquoise down in here. It just needs something. It's the dark turquoise and the light turquoise. Right off my palette. Yeah, I think that's better. Sorry, I know I keep leaving the camera for you, but that's the only way I can see what I'm getting. I'm going back to ultramarine blue. But again, I don't want these dots of turquoise, so I'm going to see where I need it. Ooh, actually, I don't know what I need much of this. I'm just going like that. Okay, so I've got chunks of color on there. Let me show you this. I've got chunks of color right there that I'm going to blend now. Because I don't want to lose the color, but I don't want chunks. So, and I actually am going to swirl them a little bit this way, just a little less cloudy. Let's just see what we got here. I'm really liking this. You know, you just never know. You start something, what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to remove a little bit of my white here. I just dipped into some mineral spirits. I'm just going to get rid of a little bit right in here. See what we get. I'm going to go back, see what we got. Yeah, that's going to be better. Okay, so I'm going to put in some more darks in here. Like I don't want to leave a black hole. So I'm going to go with ultramarine blue to start with. See what happens. I still want it to be nice and dark. See that little dot thing. I don't care for this little, I brought the blue in right here. I don't care for that. I'm going to get rid of that shape. I like that better. Okay, so let's bring a little turquoise in here to blend into the blue. I'm going to go with the darker turquoise. start with. I'll add some lights if I need to add lights, but okay, I'm liking it. Shape back where it needs to be. So I've got white on my brush here, because I don't want this just, I don't know, this weird. Yeah, better. Okay, back to my thicker brush. This has just a little leftover ultramarine blue on it. Ooh, actually I like these like, so this what happens to me a lot too, is I'll see something I really like, and then I'll add it elsewhere and overdo it. So I'm going to attempt to not overdo it. Yeah. All right, so far so good. I'm gonna be really careful not to overdo my like fluffy clouds here. But that is way better. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I here. Yeah. Not sure where else to go here on this. I don't want to get carried away with the lights, but all right, I'm feeling like I'm gonna get carried away, so I'm gonna stop here. Let's see what we got. Got my blender to see. Okay, so now I made kind of this weird star thing going on. Why do I do that? We're getting rid of all this right here. So I'm just gonna blend this stuff out. It's almost to the dark, the black. Okay, I actually want to bring some more darks in here too. So I'm wiping out the lights that I had on here. I'm going back to oxazine purple and ultramarine blue, no white. However, there's probably some on my brush. And I'm just going to bring some darks into here. I'm not going to obliterate the light. I just want not so like. I like it better. Okay, I'm going to go with some turquoise in there now too. And I've got a little of the light turquoise and a little bit of the dark turquoise. Just to, if I need to, no, I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm gonna bring a little bit of it into here. And not carried away, right? Ooh. And this is all, what I'm deciding now really is about the composition. Is there too much of a circle? Is there too much of a radiating star or that sort of thing? So that's what I'm trying not to lose the randomness of it, which I tend to, I don't know, I just tend to put everything in a row and I don't know if it's just the way my brain works. So I have to actually make effort to not do that, to make it loose and random. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Is use, oh, I'm really, really liking it. Okay, so I love that these are all in the darks and there's some lights here and there's some lights up there. So I'm feeling like I might even be done. I'm going to put, you guys probably will not be able to see this, but I'm going to put some dark value of ultramarine blue here. I'm going to put a little bit of the turquoise with my ultra. Let's just see what happens. But I just want something happening in here rather than having this whole space blank. It'll blue on my brush now. I'm going to go back here. Yeah, I just think that's way better. Okay, and then hopefully I'm not getting carried away here on this. Nope, I think it's good. I think it's good. One more little something happening down here, just to bring it out to the edge. And then, let's see. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Okay, so I've got all these little textury things where I just kind of laid the paint on the canvas. So I'm going to blend those out again. Here. Let's see what we got. You notice I avoided my white still. I still want to keep that pretty clean, bright white. Yes, I'm liking it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get another blender, a clean blender. Blend out my white. I want it. I still want it. Right now, if you were here, it looks very textury, and I just want it smooth. So I'm just gonna very carefully soften those edges. Soften these edges. I really like that. All right. So now this is the fun part, and I'm going to actually turn these paintings around because I'm making a big mess. So I don't want anybody's paintings to get splattered. All right, so I'm going to get a toothbrush, and I'm going to add some stars with the toothbrush. So let me get a piece of cardboard. Sorry, hold on. And get a scrap canvas. Okay, so what I do to get my stars in is I put mineral spirits, and it's clean mineral spirits here, and get rid of the excess. I take white. Sometimes I will add reds or blues depending on the apparently stars, if they're more of a blue tone or a red tone or a green tone, it's how old they are or how hot they are. For now, because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, I'm going to do just plain white. So I've got plain white right here, pretty fluid. You want to make sure you don't have big chunks on here. But if it's too fluid, your stars, your dots won't show. If it's too thick, it'll give you chunks of white. So I always practice on something else, a piece of cardboard, a scrap canvas. I'm just going to see how fluid, and that's pretty good. It's not dripping down. I also normally have my painting flat because I don't want dripping stars, but then you wouldn't be able to see. So we're going to go with this. I'm feeling really good about it. If you get too close, it'll just splatter a bunch of stars in one spot. So I usually come back about sometimes like a whole foot, and I'm just going to see what we get. Oh, did you guys see the drip that happened? Usually that I will dump off my paint. I'm feeling good about this. I'm going to put some at the top of the painting. Moving this way. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see that. Hopefully you can. Not very well. I will move it closer. Okay. So, yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. So that's my first thing I do. Sometimes I'm not going to do that today. Sometimes I will take my blender brush and pull up and pull across on these stars because it'll make sort of it softens them and makes them radiate out. I'm not going to do that now because I'm doing everything wet on wet. Normally I wouldn't have put my stars on yet normally. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I will do that for the first layer of stars. But I'm leaving this like this for now. Then the next thing I do is where I have big dots of stars. And sometimes I will, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell this or not, I will try it wet on wet here. I will get close to you and show you. Sometimes I will take a little bit of red, or sometimes mostly red. And let's see if we can, let me see, okay, so here's one of the stars. It's a little bigger. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Sometimes I will soften the edges with a little bit of red. And like I said, you're probably not going to be able to see this on the camera, but when you come to my show, whoops, I lost my dot. We'll put it back in. When you come to my show, when you look close to the paintings, you'll go, oh, that's what she was talking about. Okay, so I kind of lost my dot, but it's got red around it. Let's see, let me point to it. It's got a little red there, right? Okay, hold on. Clean the red off the brush. I'm fully just white. Dot of white on there. Okay, bring it back up. So there's the red star right here. I'm just gonna get the white back into it. And by patting it, I'm also softening the edges a little towards the red. But there it is. So, and that's how they really look if we were looking through a telescope. So that's what I would do for the rest of the painting. I would be doing some of these little details, which I can't help myself, these little details, that's what I am. And then I'll also often, like, I'm just gonna do that with this one right here, and then I'll bring it closer to you to show you. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put some, it's actually alizarin crimson. I'm putting around the star, like so, and this time I'm gonna try not to touch the star. And then I'm gonna put a glob of white paint. It's pretty globby here. And then I'm gonna, with a fairly clean brush, and I usually use a ruler to get my straight lines. Okay, so if you look at NASA's website, the stars usually glow like this, not like this. On some of my paintings, I just feel like the radiating light coming like this rather than how it really is like that. I think I'm going to make it radiating from top to bottom. So I'm going to get a T-square because I don't want it. If you're going to do it straight like this, you really want it to be straight. You don't want it just a little bit off. So I'm going to use a T-square, and I'm going to pull out, there's a glob of paint right there. I'm going to pull a little bit of it out this way and a little bit out of it off this way. Let's just see what we get. But I usually try to do some pretty distinct radiating stars. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to bring it closer to you to see, okay? So bring the lights out. And I like it. So now I'm going to put my red back in, which I know you can't see, but I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to put red out here, make it a lot larger. And I actually chose this spot because there was a big blob on it, but also it works with the composition. That's something to think about too with any painting, not just My Heavens Declare. Like, where are things gonna? You don't want to distract from this, right? So I'm being careful where I choose to put this big star. I'm gonna actually soften this phrase a little. And now I'm having to be ultra careful because by doing that, I can disturb these other little spots of stars, which I don't want to do. So I've got a glob of paint here that I'm going to put my star back in here, make it a little bigger than the others, and I'll come show it to you. Okay, so the radiating lines need to come a little bit off of this. So I should be turning my canvas upside down rather than. And then I want a little bit of them coming out from, out from here too. So I'm going to do a little here, And you guys, if I goof this up, it's not a big deal. You just let it dry and paint over it. I mean, it's just so, that's the loveliness of paint, any kind of paint, acrylics, oils, anything. Maybe watercolors less so, getting the starting over, but okay. So this radiating line, I brought it way too far up. I'm just getting rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna bring it closer to for you to see. Eventually, I need to put white paint smack in the middle to make that look bright. But we're just gonna go with what I have. Let's see if I can. Okay, there you go. There's my little star. And I see on the camera, you can't see the glow of red around it, but it's there. And so I'm going to just let you look at the whole thing. I mean, this is the bottom of it. There. I'm going to go over here so you can see what we're getting. You're also getting a glow of my overhead lights. Okay, so that's what I'm really pleased so far with what I got. And now is a stopping point to let it dry. So thank you so much for joining me in my studio. It was way fun. I love having people in here. Actually, I kind of do better painting with people. In fact, you'll get videos of other artists, but one of the artists is Shirley Hackett, and she and I paint together a lot, actually, at least twice a week, sometimes more often. And we'll be going, okay, Shirley, what do you think? And so it helps to have people join you and give you some feedback. Again, you have to take it or leave it because it may not be the vision you wanted. And I do that with my students too. I will give my opinion, and but I don't insist that they follow what I'm telling them. It's their painting and their vision. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to many more sessions like this.